What's good, y'all? Today we're reacting to Gen Z's addiction to locking in by Malik Peace. I ain't gonna lie, Gen Z, we need to chill, bro. We're talking about locking in. Where's the love? Let's live our lives. Anyways, without further ado, let's get it. Alex Virgo on all platforms. Check me out. Oh, this is my second channel. Check me out on my main channel if you want. 2020, COVID, very good time, but bad time at the same time.
And focus on my goals. And what's that? This year is my year. I'm gonna delete TikTok. Wake up at 6 a.m.
Facts. Talk that. Ooh, those aren't push-ups.
Is my year. I swear I'm gonna delete TikTok. Wake up at 5 o'clock every single morning. Meditate, journal, manifest my dreams, dump everything into an NFT, get rich in crypto, and then I'm gonna find. Okay, this year is my year. Waking up at 4.
Yo, when is it gonna be your year though, gang?
Habits, taking cold showers, listen to a few Huberman podcasts, so now I know I'm ready for. This year is 3 a.m. up, 5 side hustles, red light sauna. I still gotta delete TikTok. This is my winter arc. This year, I swear I'm actually locked. This year, wake up.
Yo, it's 2025 and you're still talking about locking in? You're done. You're done. If it's 2020, actually, you know what? That's a lie. It's never too late. It's never too late to start. It's never too late. A guy by the name of Smart once told me, or once said in an interview that spoke to me, it's never too late to be who you wanted to be. It's never too late to be who you wanted to be.
Deleting my entire phone. No friends, no distractions, 4 years of monk mode. I will locking in. A term that mainly Gen Z has been making popular recently.
Winter arc.
As just getting serious. To lock your.
Do you guys go on your winter arc?
And that thing can be less serious stuff, like playing a video game or trying not to laugh at something serious. But I want to lock in, focus, get it. Never mind. On the more serious side, that when someone says they're gonna lock in, it means to really get your shit together.
Yeah.
Focus on whatever thing you want to achieve.
Which is a great thing.
That we have for ourselves. Usually referring to things like going to the gym or studying or something related to money, whatever. And on its own, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this at all.
Right.
It is necessary for doing anything.
Yo, is there actually dudes who do that? Like, I know as somebody who used to fight a little bit of MMA, I know like there's like you supposed to shadow box and stuff like that sometimes, especially for a warm up. But is there actually dudes that like wake up when the sun comes up or like go in a random alley like on some Rocky things and just like fight the air, bro? Like, and I used to be like a semi fighter, like in like. That's cringe. I don't know. That's just a little cringe. But no hate, bro. We all do cringe shit, to be fair.
Actually do it.
Right.
But barely anyone does. We've all had that 2 a.m. motivation.
Yep.
We wake up and just start pacing.
I got that 10 p.m. motivation right now.
$150,000 a month. And to buy their parents a new house with a Rolls Royce.
Mm-hmm.
So we start planning on becoming a millionaire in 6 months. We start researching and watching videos. Maybe go do a couple of push-ups and squats. We delete TikTok and Instagram from our phones. Maybe even pull out a journal and write down some plans about something. And we swear we're gonna go to the gym tomorrow.
Yee!
Wake up, re-download TikTok the next day, and just repeat the cycle over and over and over again.
You guys actually wake up though and scroll on TikTok? That's waste man activity. Anytime I wake up and go straight on like a social media app that's not YouTube, because normally YouTube cultivates like YouTube gives me good morning videos of like either motivation or like videos I can play in the background that just stimulate my mind in positive ways and uplifting ways. But if I go on anywhere else, it just becomes like a comparing or like a loop, bro. That's like, yo, that's waste man activity.
And you know, like it sounds kind of funny because we all kind of been through it, but in all seriousness, it's insanity.
Brush your teeth, King.
It gets beyond frustrating when time keeps passing, but for some reason we're not where we want to be in our lives. When we're not even on the path. When you haven't locked in like you swore you were going to.
This is a horse just sitting down.
And you're in the same spot you have been for over half a decade.
That is insane work.
Literal 40th attempt saying you're going to do something.
Yo.
You don't believe or trust yourself anymore.
Right.
It's not even sadness or anger.
It's just a loop. Yo, that's a good ad placement. As somebody who has a monetized YouTube channel, I co-sign that ad placement. That was a good ad placement because now I want to know what was he about to say, but now I have to wait for this laggy ad. Okay, go ahead. Numbness. But why exactly that was not worth waiting for the ad, but okay.
To do the things we swore we want to do, yet it's so easy to do the things that we know won't help us long term.
Right.
It's not even like we don't want these things or don't even know how to get them. Because if you have an internet connection, which you have to be for watching this video, you can easily figure out exactly how to get exactly what you want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of people have that ability, but then why can't people do it? Why can't people focus?
That's a
Why
great
can't people stay on
question.
something longer than 75 days? Why will 90% of people live the same year over and over and over again?
Tell them
Why
that
can't
is
Gen Z
human
seem
nature.
to lock
Why?
in? Well,
Why?
first of all, it's not just Gen Z who can't lock in, but almost every human for all time. Because
Mm-hmm.
focusing on long-term goals outside of survival inherently goes against human nature and the way our minds work. But more on that in a second. And second off, why exactly is locking in so important? Because if you research different people who've done anything worthwhile in any domain, they all got there doing different things during different times. But
Right.
the one common denominator between all of them is intense focus over a long period of time on one thing, which is definitionally, I don't know if that's an actual word.
Definitionally.
If you want to become world champion, you need to lock in. If you want to revolutionize personal computers, you need to lock in. If
Right.
you want to lead the civil rights movement, you need to lock in. If you
Is this guy black? He's referencing a lot of black
even
stuff.
if you don't want to change the world, but you just want to have a family, provide for them, be in shape, and live a simple life, you still need to lock in. Because we all have a certain amount of energy and time. And if you spread out this energy evenly amongst 1,000 different seeds, the most impressive thing you'll ever grow is 1,000 blades of grass.
Talk
But if
that.
you're actually able to put your energy onto one thing, sure, you might not have 1,000 blades of grass.
A beautiful
but
tree,
the one
though.
thing you will have is an oak tree. And this idea
Mm.
of locking in is so ingrained in us that it's been seen throughout several stories and myths throughout history. Like, for example, the Buddha. He lived his life of luxury and comfort, so he could sit under
She's about to say
the tree
Buddha
and
locked
fully
in,
focus on finding
I guess.
enlightenment. And monks are basically the definition of being locked in. They remove all distractions and everything that brings temporary, mindless pleasures, so they can focus on finding peace. This
Okay.
is also why we have the term monk mode, which is just another version of locking in. Even a lot of philosophers talk about removing distractions and focusing.
I know how you did that
on
effect because I use it in my
and how
videos.
chasing temporary, mindless pleasures gets you nowhere long term. Because even eons ago, they understood that having your energy spread all over the place doesn't get you anywhere and leads to an empty life. And also, in almost every single story with a hero's journey, they have to lock in and focus relentlessly on changing into a better person or overcoming a huge obstacle. Even in a lot of shows or movies or entertainment, if you think about it, a lot of the time, a lot of people's favorite or most memorable parts is when the character gets serious,
Right.
when their eyes change, and you can tell
Mm-hmm.
that they don't care
Super
about anything
Saiyan.
else other
Yep.
than the goal. Especially in sports, when athletes in the zone or they have tunnel
Hoodie
vision,
Mello,
they can just
2016
focus.
LeBron.
Even if you look at different
Yep.
biographies of people in
Face
natural
guard
disasters
Kyrie. He's right.
or
The
motivational
Mamba
speakers or
Kobe.
people who are alive today, they all mention the
I'm
focus,
tired of this nigga
the
David
grind,
Goggins
the
though.
locking in.
Tired of him.
How they went through periods of relentless focus and they remove distractions so they could really get shit done. And how even during those moments, even though they weren't all sunshine and rainbows,
Right.
they look back at those moments in admiration.
Do they though? I've been letting it rock because like taking this message in because overall I think it's a good message to like, take something serious and what you focus on, you get back. So if you try to focus on everything, you can't focus on one specific thing, then you'll get a bunch of half-assed energies and results back. But if you focus on one thing, you'll get that back immensely and in abundance, whatever. But like, do they though? Do the people who lock in for extended periods of time and like, the people that have the belief system, I say belief system because what you believe is what you're capable of at the end of the day. The people that have the belief system, getting away from your family, getting away from friends, putting your social and just basic normal human life on pause to reach a set goal. Do in the end, do they actually appreciate it? Or is that just what they tell us because it would be too embarrassing? Or they just don't want to come to terms with that all this time that they spent, like Kobe Bryant, for instance. I always look at Kobe freaking Bryant. Okay, so Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, who was this amazing basketball player, scored 81 points in his last game, who won 3 rings or whatever, has this amazing legacy and is known for pretty much this term locking in. Whenever he passed away and his daughter died as well, do you think like while he's up in heaven right now, do you think he would like he's saying to himself, I'm glad that I locked in all that time and I spent all this time, sacrificed family time, getting to know myself, work through my own trauma, learn more and more who I was outside of just basketball. Am I glad that I spent all this time on this craft instead of spending time with my daughter who now me and her are going? I don't think so. I could be wrong, but like He probably wish he would have spent a little bit more time with his family instead of just locking in. He probably wish he would have spent more time like, you know, living life outside of just one thing like basketball. I could be wrong, but that's just what my head goes to. So I just wonder, is that even true? Like Michael Jackson, does he the more he talked about it, it sounded like he wish he could have just been a child and lived a normal life. As cool as his life was. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Only they really know, and the people closest to them that they tell. But I don't know if I truly believe that all the way that locking in is always a good thing. And even when you get the result you were looking for, I don't think it always brings the satisfaction that we expect.
because it molded them into becoming a better human being. And I think locking in is something that we all subconsciously strive towards because we all know that it's the closest answer we have to the big question, how to be happy.
Right?
Because if you've ever actually been locked in, or you've gotten into a flow state, or just have gotten lost in the progression,
It's amazing feeling, not gonna lie.
it's one of the best feelings that you can experience.
Yes.
Not buying something, not doom scrolling, not giving into instant gratification and pleasures, but the climb itself towards a worthy
Just
goal
working and
is
like pushing.
it's
Yeah,
hard
that's a nice
and
feeling.
challenges us. Basically, locking in isn't even a new concept.
Right.
But
It's a
we
flow
all know
state.
it's important. Not just important, but necessary. And it's been around for eons. And today we have more tools and information to mold ourselves into whoever we want to become. Then why doesn't it work? Like obviously it does work. Folks will never hurt you. But then why do 90?
That just gave me inspiration for a video, y'all. The art of locking in flow state. Don't leak that.
We lock.
Coming soon.
Okay, well, there's four big reasons why locking in doesn't work for most people.
Right.
One, most people have no why. Most people don't
Mm.
even start with a reason. The purpose of why they're deciding to lock in.
Right.
They say they want to change, but don't even know why. Like, why go to the gym? Why start a business?
Improve
Why
yourself.
why
Get
make
some
money?
money.
Why wake up at 4 a.m.? Those things are
Give
not
yourself
bad
something to
at all.
do.
But if you don't have a damn good reason on why you're doing them, you will not do them by yourself long term.
That is not true either. Because I know a lot of lazy people, a lot of entitled people who don't work very hard, but success comes very easy to them. And you know the reason why? Because they are in a mindset, in a state in which abundance, success, and good realities always come to them. See, movies tricked us into feeling like you have to keep your head down. The Rocky movies and all that, it tricked us to feel like you have to ignore people, you have to work really hard, and then at the end, after you're ready to give up and you worked really, really hard, eventually it pays off. That's mind control. No, success is a mindset, just like money, just like women, just like attracting friends and anything else you attract. You attract push and pull all day of every waking and sleeping hour of your life, and you don't even realize it because we're just energy, just like a magnet, just like the North Pole. So that is honestly not true. It's all just a mindset at the end of the day. Do you feel like you deserve success? Even if you don't, there's a lot of people who don't care about success. There's a lot of NBA players that don't care to win. They just there for the money. There's a lot of YouTubers that don't care about the YouTube craft. They're just here to make money and they think they deserve money. So guess what? They get a lot of money and views. There's a lot of assholes that are rich and famous that are terrible humans, but guess what? They think they deserve it. So guess what? They do deserve it. They attract realities that coincide with that. So I don't even agree with that. You need a why personally. You don't really need a why at all. Like just the why. It doesn't have to be important, is what I'm saying. Your why can be, oh, just for the vibes. I think I deserve this. It looks fun. So it's on. So it's on. You know why I do YouTube? Because it's fun, and I'm making lots of money from it, and I'm finna get a lot of and I'm getting lots of motion of it. So it's on. That's it. There doesn't have to be a deeper. That's not true at all. No offense to bro, but like, y'all, you gotta protect your mind. And be careful what you let in.
Because we all have this thing called a brain, and your brain is going to control your automatic baseline behaviors. And your brain is brilliant, but it's also lazy. Not because it's trying to be lazy, it's just because it's trying to
Energy
be efficient.
sufficiency.
Your brain doesn't care about anything except surviving long enough to reproduce. Everything else it will put in as little effort as possible. And your brain will always automatically focus on two things: needs and wants.
Right.
Needs are different things like breathing, food, water, shelter.
This nigga put Raising Cane as his food.
Your brain will literally fight
That's
to the
crazy.
death to meet these things. Like literally, it will put your life at risk and put you in danger until those needs are covered. This is why you usually see people doing extreme things during life or death situations, because your brain is no longer messing around. This thing needs to get done. And then there are wants. Things that don't need to happen, but your brain still wants them. I like to think about these things as pleasures, dopamine, and comfort. But because it's efficient, it's always going to go towards the lowest hanging wants first.
Right.
Those are the easiest and fastest to get. So
Beating your meat, fast food. Yo, see, like, y'all can't tell me this doesn't just, bro. Did he like set up the cameras like, yo, let me record myself boxing and upload it to the internet? It's like, why am I hating on bro? I'm sitting here hating, bro. If that's his prerogative, that's his prerogative. It just looks weird.
Your brain is just gonna do whatever.
I say it doesn't look weird. Like I don't be sitting by the microwave waiting for my food doing. I'm a hypocrite.
Until you die. Just try it for a day. Just let your brain make all the automatic decisions. You're probably gonna do nothing the entire day. Is to just sit there and survive and just give into instant gratification activities and just be lazy. Anyways,
even if your brain sound like a bad thing.
On boring things, especially long term, is because our brain is fighting us the entire time.
Yee! Superman punch. That was a bad ad placement. Google. I think this is one of the automatic ad placements from Google.
Hi.
Terrible placement. There was no reason to place the ad right there. There was no break off. Just in the middle of a sentence.
Why we're trying to force it to do something it doesn't need to do.
Right.
It doesn't care about your goals. The things we want to achieve are not needs. And if it's not a need, your brain will default to going towards easier wants. Like you don't need to get in shape.
Right.
You don't need to start a business.
I think you'll naturally be in a certain shape that, coincides with you if you feel like whatever. I always say yourself, your world around you, since, you all may or may not know, you literally create the world and reality around you. Everything that is an extension of you that is around you is what you need at the current point. So if yourself thinks you don't need a six pack, you don't need a bunch of money, you don't need whatever, then you won't have that. But the more you upgrade and evolve, things around you evolve naturally as well. So you start hanging around more like-minded individuals. You'll stop hanging around less like-minded individuals. Your body will naturally start getting more in shape. You'll start doing more things, eating better. Like you'll just, it's like a lot of people are always focusing on the effect instead of the cause. They're always focusing on one aspect, a piece of the picture, a piece of the puzzle, instead of looking at the puzzle as a whole. If you focus on the puzzle, then the pieces they'll match up because you know what the puzzle is supposed to look like, and you'll make the right puzzle. But just looking at a piece and going, this piece is out of, maybe move this, no, you'll never get the puzzle because there's so many variables, there's so many pieces. So you got to know the puzzle. You feel me? Also, I don't mean to say that in a downer way. This guy's video completely dissect and be like he's wrong or but you gotta be very specific in what you want and how you go about yourself. Because if you don't, either you tell yourself who you are, either you tell yourself how to deal with you, or the world will tell you how to deal with you. The world will tell you who you are. You feel me? So trying to put y'all on game.
You want to. You don't need to do a lot of things because the world can handle all that for you.
Right.
The stuff you want out of life will make you feel good eventually. But the path to getting there is long and boring, uncomfortable, and risky. And your brain hates those things, especially when it can feel good instantly all the time. So unless it's truly important to you and your brain, you will inevitably fold. Think back to whenever you're working on anything. Automatically, probably several times, your brain will ask you why. And if you don't have a good answer to that question, your brain will just slowly turn off. But then imagine those times whenever you had a good why for something. It feels like you have almost this unlimited restless energy. Like, have you ever had a day in which you had something huge planned for the next day and you were able to wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning with almost zero effort? Almost like your brain automatically woke you up. It's because you were actually
Christmas.
To get up because you had a strong reason why to get up. Those are the days whenever you hype yourself up with some promises, you don't plan anything, you don't have a why, you just saw someone else doing it, and now that 5 o'clock alarm goes off, and there's going to be a 90% chance you're going to hit snooze and go right back to bed. And it is kind of corny, but
who's waking up at 5?
Like,
that's so weird.
Any why can be anyhow, because if you have a strong enough why, you will do it. And the reason why can be good or bad. If someone put a gun to your head, it's one of those things we've heard our entire lives, and it shows us that we will do crazy shit we don't want to do if you have a good reason behind it, even if it's negative. Same with if someone gave you $1 billion, shows the crazy shit we will do trying to chase a huge reward.
Right.
Most people usually have neither of those. They're just floating around in the middle. They don't have a pain they're running from or a huge reward to chase. So a big reason people can't lock in or focus on something long term is because they don't even have a good, strong reason why behind it.
Right.
It needs to be something bigger than, I want to get rich or I want a six pack. But like, why? And why that? If someone says they want a six pack but don't really have a good reason why, then there's a 90% chance they just won't do it. But then if someone
Mm.
says they want a six pack because they were bullied their entire lives and they want to prove to themselves that they can do it, that's a much stronger why that will push them to do things that they don't.
But you have to be careful even when coming at it from a mindset of that, because when you come at it from a mindset of doing it to prove other people wrong, or doing it as a way to just prove yourself to things outside of you, you'll never be fulfilled. So I see a lot of people, once they get the six pack, once they get the body that they think that they were made fun of for not having, they still don't love themselves. It still is not fulfilling because that's, again, that's an effect of something internally, not the cause. You need, instead of looking for a six pack in the gym on your physical body, you need to start looking for your internal six pack that's already there, your spiritual six pack, and the physical six pack by extension will come. How? That might be by working. That might by you eating less. That might be by whatever. But you just have to be careful of how you go about success, getting money, uh the getting, because there's no doubt or question in my mind that I can get it. There's no doubt in my mind that I can have it, that I already don't have it, that I can't get it, I can't attract it. But it's the how, because how you get it is how you can lose it. How you get it is how you have to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? So be careful about how you get it.
Don't want to do, even when they don't want to do it. For most people, the goal disappears for themselves as soon as they put their phone in their hand. It's not
Mm.
something that's so important to them that it bothers them not going towards it. Something so important to them that doing anything outside of the progression of that goal seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, that's a
Something they
terrible
already
life, y'all
have in their
boys.
mind whenever they go to sleep.
That is
The
a
first thing they're
terrible
going to do when
mindset,
they
bro.
wake up.
You never can
If you can
rest.
find
That
that goal
sucks.
and focus on it,
That
then
sucks.
locking in becomes almost automatic.
That is a
Then
shitty
you'll do
mindset
whatever
to
it takes to
have.
achieve that goal.
I think I understand what he's trying to say in this video. I thought his take was going to be different, but it seems like he's just explaining.
And sure, there are things that you can do to help, but you can't.
I thought his whole reason for making it, oh, he's a black brother. He's a black brother. Shout out to Malik Peace. He's a melanated god. God. From what it, yeah, he's a. I thought his whole take on Gen Z's addiction to locking in was going to be about how we as a generation, we're so focused on locking in, getting money, or, being nonchalant, locking in the gym winter arc, all these things, that we're putting these things above our own lives. It's no different than when you say a girl's so pretty or a girl's so hot, you like her so much that you start to put her above you as a person, and you put her feelings, what she wants, and this idea of her over your own morals, your own principles, how you feel, and like, yourself. I thought he was going to talk about how we as Gen Z, bro, we're so stuck on locking in or trying to get money or financial, whatever it is, that we're missing the whole point. We're so concentrated on the finger pointing at the moon that we can't even see the beauties of the stars and the moons itself, which is the whole point of the finger pointing out. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. We're not enjoying life. We're just sitting inside. We're not going to parties. We're not dancing at parties. If we do go to parties, we're not jumping in pools. We're not having conflicts with people in dealing with the conflicts and the good that comes with everyday people. We'd rather just go on TikTok and talk. There's a lot of life we're not experiencing, and as cool as it sounds, and as the whole is an excuse, because let's be honest, it's an excuse, because again, you attract your reality. If you want money, you attract it, bro. You're either on a mindset of either you got it or you don't, because there's a lot of people in this world that don't have money, but there's also a lot of people who do, and it's all because of their mindset that they attract money. Money's not above them. It's not something they have to chase. The same way as guys, there's guys who get women because they know they naturally get women. They naturally attract women. Then there's the guys that don't. You know what I mean? Because they count themselves out. You choose what you are at the end of the day, but that's ultimately that excuse of money. It's a cop out. It's an excuse of why my generation can't seem to, a lot of them, not everybody, but a lot of them won't live their lives. When it's really, let's be honest, it's just fear and comfortability of being on TikTok and social medias and being able to watch and judge without you equally having to give other people the same opportunity to watch, judge, and get to know the beautiful person, which is you as well. So I thought that's what he's going to talk about, of like how locking in is really, it's becoming a very bad thing, honestly, for us, if I had to be honest, because nobody, I'm gonna be honest, none of y'all niggas, as cool as it sounds, y'all aren't gonna be on your deathbed when it's time to leave this earth, taking your last couple breaths, thinking, ah, I'm so glad I locked in. I'm so glad. Like, what's the point of being so rich and making so much money that you're able to retire your mom and buy her a house if you can't even chill in that house with her? What's the point of being able to pay for all your mom's groceries, retire her, if you can't even enjoy the retirement with her? Like, what's the point of like taking care of everybody around you if you can't go on vacations with them? You can't go to spend the money that you're giving them. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of taking care of the family financially if you can't be there for them in the like what's the point? I don't get it. I never thought that made sense, to like be extremely rich and successful but you can't even enjoy it. Like, and I think that's where we got it twisted, is like we think the carrot is the beauty when it's just like running is the beauty. The carrot is kind of just an excuse and another reason for running, but it's not the carrot. It's just the beauty of life and just being here is, I think, that is like what it is. And if you just focus all your time on money or locking in or trying to be the strongest possible on some Andrew Tate, David Goggins things, then I think you miss the whole point of life. And when you die, you'll see what I'm saying. Even if you don't see what I'm saying now, we'll just come back in anywhere between tomorrow to 70 to 80 years from now, and let's see if you feel that same way whenever it's time for all of us to go. But yeah. I guess it was a cool video if you want to learn, I guess, how to lock in. Me personally, I thought it was gonna be different. So my expectations were, I watched something completely different than what I was expecting, which there's nothing wrong with. It was a cool video. Shout out to Malik Prince, bro. Black Kings forever. White guys never, you know what I'm saying? Black Queens forever. Snow Bunnies never. Shout out to Dr. Umar. But anyways, I'll see y'all boys later. Go check out my main channel, Alistair Virgo, if you want to see videos like this, but more in depth, I guess, maybe more structured and less free bally like this. But anyways, I appreciate y'all so much for liking, subscribing, and supporting me, and I'll see you on the next one. Love.